When you think of Richmond High School, what comes to mind? When I tell people that I teach at Richmond High here in the Bay Area in California, the vast majority of people respond with a shocked grimace, and they even ask me if I'm okay, asking if the students treat me okay, insinuating that danger lurks with every Richmond High student. My first year teaching here, my dad was worried and even encouraged me to bring my taser with me to school to protect myself. However, as I gained experience working at Richmond High, I very soon realized how silly it was to think that this school was so scary or dangerous. With such vibrant and kind students and welcoming fellow teachers who provided a warm learning environment in their classrooms and in the halls. So what is really going on at Richmond High School? Is it really that dangerous? I wanted to get to the root of what Richmond High was really about. So I started by asking the mayor himself.
Well, I think perception of Richmond in general, which extends to the schools, has been misperceived. Just a lot of good programs, great soccer team. Number one, you have to know the system. You have to have influence, and you have to have money. So those are three things that most of the students at Richmond High don't have. So those parents end up sending their kids to charter schools or to some other school out of district.
So let's hear what people from the inside have to say about it. I tried to get voices from every stakeholder, all the way from student to mayor, so we can compare experiences.
So, obviously, being from the community, I hear a lot of fear from parents about sending their students to Richmond High. From people who are outsiders, the first thing they'll mention is either Coach Carter, or they'll mention some just really terrible incidents that they've heard on the news that have happened at Richmond High School. But I think what always strikes me are more of the local, the local folks that are really just speaking about their fear to send their students, the reputation that it's just had of, just being a bad school and with bad children. We have teachers that really want to be there, that are really working hard to, bring the rigor to Richmond High. They don't feel oh, these are Black and brown children, we have to water it down. Not at all. I think it's, the opposite. We have a dedicated staff who's no, we're going to give them the education they deserve. People show up because it's a job, not at Richmond High School. People show up for the kids.
One of the things when I worked at Helms was that Richmond High School was not the best place for students to go, but that was back in the early 2000s. Then I got a chance to work at Richmond High School, and I saw that the community was open for change and ready to change the image of the school. Hearing parents' point of view in regards to how we can make the campus better. Another one is hearing from the students and what they needed to feel more comfortable on campus. One of the big initiatives that happened as a staff was the restorative justice initiative that was campus-wide, where all the teachers were trained on restorative justice to create a better climate in their classroom, which then made a better climate for the whole campus. We are the biggest hub of adult education. So we, in the morning, serve the students, and at night, we serve the adults in our community.
I was a student here in the early 2000s. I graduated 2006. During the hyphy movement, I'll add, experience from then compared to now, I would say we've definitely made improvement, both in terms of academics, in terms of safety on campus. There's definitely been a positive direction that the school has moved towards. I will say, I think a lot of that has come with really intentional work from our staff and our students and our families. Thinking back to what Richmond High was when I was a student here, there was definitely room for growth in terms of safety and academics. And throughout the years, different folks have put in really important work that has built on itself. People that don't really know what we do here or aren't in communication with us, unfortunately, if all they hear is the narratives about Richmond High, then that's all that informs their opinion. And if, folks are in that situation, our doors and phone lines are open. We welcome folks to come and talk to us and learn more about what we do and how they can support in helping Richmond High get better.
Incidents happen, yes. But like, is it every day? Is it all the time? No. And I feel like this is something that happens in every schools, even like the rich schools. But we pay only attention to the negative stuff that is going on in this community because it's a community where there's a lot of people of color here. And I see the students like in the school, like the teachers working here, and all different programs and all the different supports that the school has. Now I can see how much it has moved from that school that used to be about survival to a place where you can actually learn and engage in different like learning practices, and like you can actually have a positive experience.
I had wonderful teachers. One of my teachers made a difference in my life, and because of it, I wanted to come back to Richmond High, and I was hoping that I could make one student feel what I felt, so that their lives would be changed, because that teacher changed my life.
Being a former alumni that has gone through so many years of people asking me, you went to Richmond High? And this negative connotation about what Richmond High has been an interesting thing to navigate, because one, I'm a byproduct of Richmond High School and the Richmond community, and the only thing I have to say is I have good things to say because I am one of Richmond High's products. I do the robotics program at Richmond High, and over the last 20 years, that's one of the things that I've helped support, because again, our students are doing some amazing cool things in our community, and I'm the director for the Richmond High School robotics program. That's one of the only schools in our district that has a varsity robotics program. And then not only that, but we also support teams in the East Bay, and we actually network with a lot of teams in California. And so our team is actually a team that's old enough to support others and is a big contributor to the East Bay community with robotics. But again, one of those things that unless you go to Richmond, unless you really know what's going on, it's hard for you to understand some of the cool, amazing things that are happening.
We have a bad reputation that this is like a Mexican school because of the population of the because we're more Hispanics, and that we're not good enough for the community or for the students. Well, this is my second home. Like I said before, I never left. I stay here because I really believe in this school. The teachers and the administrators are more involved in the community than before. Now you see that a lot of the teachers are coming back. They were students and now they're coming back to give back to the community. So and because they live around, the teachers and the administrators live around this school. Like I said, we feel more like family than the school. And I think that the parents and the students feel that connection with the Richmond High.
For the last 4 years, Richmond High has been the safest school in our district, not according to my standards, but the standards of the district. The superintendent here, Dr. Hurst, have deemed this school as the model school for the district.
Do you see a pattern? Quite a few of the staff here are actually Richmond High alum. What is it about Richmond High that brings people back?
I studied here a few years ago, and I'm so proud of this school, so happy about the new students and everything. It's great, and the teachers are amazing. I learned my English here, and thanks to that now I have a business, and I love my occupation and all what I do.
Now my daughter comes to Richmond High School and she's a student here. I like it. I think that a student can do well at any school, and I didn't let the negative comments or the reputation the school had interfere with my decision to bring in her here.
Now let's talk to the people on the front lines every day for almost 200 days each year. The teachers. Is their experience at Richmond High similar to mine, or are they seeing things differently?
Some people would say, wow, you're the man, you're really tough to stay in a place like that. sometimes I'd hear from older folks who had gone to Richmond High School, and they're like, yeah, good for you. It was considered a dangerous place way back when I first started. Our mock trial team competes against El Cerrito. We compete against Pinole. Well, Pinole I don't think has a mock trial team right now. We compete against De Anza. We have competed against Kennedy. And for years and years, we always came out on top of those groups. El Cerrito is probably ahead of us now. De Anza's somewhere around the same place we are. So from what I've seen, I don't think those students are necessarily any better than our students or more able to do what we do. I think it's a good school. I like teaching here. I like the students. I like the other teachers. I don't just like the other teachers. Whenever I get to know the other teachers, I'm always amazed at what they've accomplished, both before they got here and since they got here. So, what do you want?
The important thing I want people to understand about Richmond High is the young people. There's a whole bunch of great young people here, like 1,500 students here. All 1,500 of these students are good kids, and they're misunderstood, right? And I'm just gonna keep it real. Kids that are off the hook or whatever your perception is about Richmond High, they don't even show up. So the kids that show up are here for a purpose, and they make it exciting and fun for me to show up every morning.
We do honor band, where the teacher selects top kids and they all come together to make a band and play together. And it would always be Pinole, El Cerrito, Hercules, and maybe a couple De Anza kids. And I always wondered why there was no kids from Richmond or Kennedy. And I would always think to myself, there must be kids that play instruments or want to play instruments at those schools. So that was always something, that's kind of where I started to think about, I guess, equity issues or whatever. So I remember always hearing about this school from my dad, that this school was built during the Cold War and during the race riots. So it was built to keep people in and keep people out, which it is. This building is it's a fortress of a building. Do we have issues? Yes, we deal with some of our most sensitive demographics, and that's pretty much everybody here. But a lot of those thoughts about this school, I don't know if I'll call them racist, but they definitely are race and class related, and stem from views of immigrant populations and from views of Black and African American populations that are like rooted in racism or wholeheartedly wrong. And our students prove that every day. Our students have gone from, in the music program, we've gone from, just doing our best to being an award-winning program, a program that can go, we can go sit in a room with any other program, and we're right there with them. And I'm not talking about just in our district, I'm talking about in the state. And that has to do with the dedication of our students and, the dedication of our teachers and our students who are trying to uplift their families.
I have also experienced the inequities that our students unfortunately have to deal with and navigate high school through, or actually K through 12 through. I've been able to, from my own experience, see what a disservice defunding education is and taking out our teachers from our classroom. This has not just been COVID and on. This has been my experience ever since I was in this district. And that's not a teacher issue. We all come in here wanting and giving it our best every single day. But we do need that support, and we need the support coming from top down. So I think Richmond High is an amazing place, and if people perceive it negatively, I think we have to have real conversations about why the system is the way that it is. And I think we also need to see and recognize that Richmond, if we want to do anything to change, Richmond is the place to do it.
I really believe that Richmond is the best place to be a teacher because of the students that we have and the faculty.
Y'all know I had to save the best for last, right? Now we gotta hear the wonderful students of Richmond High themselves. Just a note that almost half our student population are English language learners who immigrated on their own or whose parents immigrated here to chase the American dream. So feel free to be super impressed by their interviews, which were conducted without prior notice and completely in English.
The teachers are so helpful, give us so many help, and they are so good. Some people say good things and others say bad things, but I'm here and I see that this is a good school, so the school give us a lot of help.
I've seen some bad, but it's mainly been good from like my perspective and like my surroundings. A lot of my classmates have been nice. A lot of my teachers have been very supportive. The programs helped me out a lot.
What programs?
Well, sports, football, basketball, and there's CIR programs with Miss Angie and the rest of them, college advisors. And as well, just like I've got to school mentors in there too. I don't talk to them much, but they've helped my friends a lot too.
My experience was great because it was my first high school like in the States. It was great because I met like a lot of people from different countries, like people from Asia, from Brazil too, like Afro-American people. My friend Yasin, come on bro, come on.
Yeah, get in there.
This dude right here, he's crazy. I love him.
Aww.
He was my first friend at Richmond High who was from Russia. They changed the Richmond High School, which is by the school, but I don't know why. For me, it's a good school.
Experience about the English, because when I came here it's so hard, and I get a very good friend, his name is Samuel, and we're practicing, and we're doing a lot. That's helped me a lot. That's the biggest experience.
I am Samuel,
that's
right?
my friend.
Right.
I can say the bad words.
Don't say bad words.
Like a little bit stupid. Like we say that because Richmond High School is for real. It's a very good school. Very good teachers. They help you for everything. They shows you how to do everything. And if you're hungry, they will give you the food too. And I can't say about the Richmond High School something bad. It's a very good school.
I think it's pretty fair. The after-school programs, the sport, the athletics, and like other programs, robotics, band, and all that stuff. It's called Music in the Parks, and then our jazz ensemble won first overall in first place. So symphonic won second, our orchestra got third, and then Jeremy, my friend, he won best soloist at the competition. People see it as like a ghetto school filled with just like 100% Latino kids, like horrible school, a lot of drug usage, like people bringing guns, and really underfunded, but like it's all not true.
After exploring all of these perspectives, one thing they all have in common is that Richmond High School provides a supportive learning environment that has moved far from its dark past. If there's anything that I've learned from this myself, it's that I'm not alone in my love for Richmond High and its students. Thank you for listening to the story of our community and beautiful school here in Richmond.